brother Hayhurst Shaughnessy, Simmons, Watkinson, Maynard, the wicket-keeper, and Allett. Then for Sussex, Ali Khan, Green, Parker, Imran Khan. Now that's, it is a while ago, it's 11 years ago when Imran was playing for Sussex. The two Wells, Colin and Allen, then Ian Gould, he was captain and wicket-keeper there, Garth LaRue, Dermot Reeve, playing for Sussex at that stage, Tony Pygott, who talked to Simon Hughes just a little while ago, and he's now the chief executive down at Sussex, and Alan Jones, the pace bowler, who's now an umpire and was third umpire in the Trent Bridge Test match. So we're going to join it now in the fifth ball of the first over. Imran Khan is the bowler, he's bowling to Graham Fowler, and it's 3 for no wicket.
Oh. Beautifully bowled by Imran.
There's that laid out swing to the left-hander.
All quiet at this stage, but no doubt we'll hear the cheers for the Red Rose. For Lancashire, a lot of men have, well, ladies have made the trip down today. Sussex are their own supporters, and they're watching LaRue coming in now to bowl to Fowler. Oh yes, that's the best of Fowler. So Gould makes his first change of bowling. It's Adrian Jones coming from the nursery end.
Race away down to the nursery end, even though I suspect the bowler probably got a fingertip to it. Wasn't able to check the pace sufficiently. Very quick to get into position. 13 from that over, and it wasn't a very good one. Jones alternated between over-pitching and then that short one at the end. Both batsmen very quick to take advantage. From the pavilion end, Colin Wells will be the new bowler. Nicely placed. The ball fairly races away down the hill there towards the tavern. There was no great power in that stroke, and it might even have run off a rather thickish edge. 50 came up in 76 balls. Gone, first wicket down. Wells, having been struck before from the first ball, has had his revenge. Fowler only just reached it and then was off back to the pavilion before the umpire had any need at all to raise his finger. 50 for 1.
Well, Graham Fowler will be very disappointed to get out to that. Almost a wide, I would think, and no great bounce to it. Certainly if he'd have played the shot firmer, but he just really hung the bat out like a fishing rod, and the result was a comfortable catch behind.
John Abrahams is the number 3 for Lancashire. Here's Colin Wells again. Oh, good shot. That was a lovely fluent stroke. Oh, what a nice way to make your first impression of this match. 15 runs off those 2 overs from Jones, so Dermot Reeve has been brought into the attack.
Dermot Reeve and Collin Wells. Adrian Jones went for a few runs and he came on, and he has a 6th seamer, Tony Pygott, still up his sleeve.
back. I don't know that he was completely delighted with Ken Palmer's decision. There's no doubting the way the Sussex players feel about it. Batsmen sometimes tend to think just because they're playing forward, they're immune from the upraised finger. Mendes has found to his cost that that's not quite so. And out comes the great man for what may be his last ever innings on this ground. A standing ovation from the pavilion and right around the ground. No man deserves it more. This is his 9th final at Lord's in all types of cricket. Prudential World Cup, Gillette and Natwest. Ambitious. That's out. Now there is joy for the Sussex men. They know that they're in with a real chance now. They've got away with 3 wickets in this first session. Ball moving off the seam. And Dermot Reeve is the hero of Sussex.
Dermot Reeve getting his line just right to these left-handed players. They're not used to the ball coming into them from right-handed bowlers. And here's a further left-hander, Neil Fairbrother. The England selectors meet on Monday to choose the Australian touring party. Every amateur selector around the country will be thinking up their own squad of 16 players.
Green, the fielder.
Thoughtful balcony, Lancashire. In fact, it was a no ball called. Quite a scamper among the slips there, but Dickie Burr was the man who ruled another no ball for Colin Wells.
I don't think it'd have made much difference. I'm sure he'd have played the shot anyway. I don't think he heard the shout in time.
Lancashire sent into bat. 85 for 3. That's out. Easily caught, John Abrams at second stick by Tony Pygott. And again, the man who does the damage is Dermot Reeve. Just when he was getting going, John Abrams just repaired the damage. And then lovely catchable height and no mistake by Pygott, and John Abrams goes for 20. New batsman is Steve O'Shaughnessy. 85 for 4. This is Pygott. Oh, takes him on. That's close. Oh, he was a risky second there. It definitely was a diving job. It was all because Dermot Reeve, in fact, was not back on the boundary this time. They've been comfortable twos there all the morning.
Well, I certainly think a direct throw would have been curtains for Neil Fairbrother there. I like to throw the ball about 50 yards.
Barker. Risky single. Paul Parker, the man coming around, and Batsman well out when the ball went past the stumps. Missed by a good yard. Another success for Dermot Reeve. What a morning and now afternoon he's had in this Natwest final. Stephen O'Shaughnessy, the man out. Bowled by Dermot Reeve for 4, and it's 100 for 5.
Reeve had spent the morning moving the ball away from the right-hander, this one nipping back and removing O'Shaughnessy's off stump.
Hayhurst is the new player. Well, he won't be pleased about that. It's spoiled that bowling analysis right at the death. 12 overs, 4 maidens, 4 for 20. Very good indeed.
And that's the first name in the hat for the Man of the Match award.
That was a good attempt down there. It went for 4, but that was a very, very good effort for the man down at deep third man, Garth LaRue. Jones is the bowler. Good shot. That's the type of stroke that has built up this young player's reputation. Neil Harvey Fairbrother.
Yes, this was a good shot because it did bounce a little bit there, well above the top of the stumps, but you could see how he controlled that with the left hand, turning the blade lock and just knocking it down, and beautifully played.
Something more for Jones to worry about. A clinking straight drive went in the air, but nicely timed and perfectly placed. 144 for 5.
Well, this is a shot that Fairbrother's been looking to play. This time he kept the bat dead straight, and you saw the result.
Garth LaRue is the bowler, and he's bowling to Hayhurst. Picked that up nicely and hit it down the ground. 4 more. ...150 up in 282 balls. Last 50 came in 75.
That's another fine blow. Well, how well he's hit the ball. Andy Hayhurst has got onto that front foot and he's picked up some tremendous blows, and especially off Garth LaRue. And this one goes wide of mid-on, in the air, lands well into the outfield. And then he plays like that. Now that'll be an interesting question. Was Colin Wells in contact with the ball and at the same time over the boundary rope? In which case it would have been 4. Yes, the cheer goes up and Neil Fairbrother gets his half-century. And very nicely fashioned, very thoughtfully played for. Steady at first, and now picking off some delightful shots with that little back lift with excellent timing. Oh, lovely timing.
perfect placement, perfect stroke for the occasion.
That's an amazing piece of fielding. That is the 100 partnership between Andy Hayhurst and Neil Fairbrother, and how well they've played. Andy Hayhurst on 49 now. Waiting for Imran from the pavilion end. Oh, it's gone. Just try to run it fine, as so often they do in one-day matches, and Ian Gould takes the catch. Still, that will not take anything away at all from a very fine innings by Andy Hayhurst. It really was cometh the hour, because Lancashire were in terrible trouble at 100 for 5. And now he goes, it's 203 for 6.
Andy Hayhurst really gave momentum to this Lancashire effort. They looked in desperate straits when he joined Neil Fairbrother. What a great contribution he's made.
That's a first wicket for Imran Khan. Chris Maynard is the new batsman. Oh, he's tried hard for that and bowled it well. Tony Pygott kept on firing those Yorkers in there, and eventually he's yes, we know how you feel. It's Neil Fairbrother who goes, but a marvellous innings by him. Really turned round this Lancashire effort. And now as the overs run out, he's just trying to make something out of nothing. And I'm sure that innings greatly appreciated. That's Mike Watkinson. Oops, yes, they all count. I don't think Chris Maynard do much about that. Imran Khan certainly wasn't impressed by that. Look at that movement of the seam. Ouch. Now he probably wants his fine leg a little finer. Yes, he does. Just giving the signal down there to move his man to orthodox fine leg. How often do you see Imran Khan straight driven? Off it goes. That's well caught by Ian Gould, because it was quite wide and going wider. Chris Maynard, of course, at this stage, the 57th over, really having to make an effort. So Maynard is caught. Gould bowled Imran for 14 off 7 balls. So a valiant effort by Chris Maynard. And Lancashire 217 for 8 in the 57th over.
Now we have another emotional welcome for that other great old campaigner of Lancashire cricket, Jack Simmons.
There's two great heroes here today. There's been Clive Lloyd, had a wonderful reception, and now Jack Simmons. All fielders back, but of course Ian Gould, the captain, has to keep four fielders within those discs, and that's a 30-yard radius from the stumps. So there's a bowler, the keeper, and a compulsory four fielders inside that area. It's a slower ball, and it's a faster shot. Beautiful straight six. The idea of bowling a slower ball is to deceive the batsman, make him mistime it. In fact, I'm afraid all Tony Pygott did was to improve the timing of Mike Watkinson. Big crack, and that's first bounce. Mike Watkinson, 14, 241 for 8. And it's the last ball of Lancashire's innings. What are the instructions, Jack? No good looking up there now, and just one ball to go. They settle for the single.
Lancashire using up all their overs. That always helps quite a lot. And 12 runs coming off the last one. What transformed the picture for Lancashire, of course, that century stand between Fairbrother and Hayhurst. On to the bowling. And we discover that a gentleman called Dermot Reeve had marvellous figures. 12 overs, 4 for 20, which has to put him in line for the Man of the Match award. So the Sussex task, batting second on what looked by now to be a pretty flat pitch, just a touch over 4 and over. But to win, they would have to score more than any side batting second to win here in a September one-day final. So let's join their innings in the 9th over. The score is 15 for no wicket, and it's Watkinson bowling to Green.
That's a very good stroke for 4.
Yeah, it's a beautiful timed stroke. It's just short of a length and clipped away square on the offside, and no real power put to it, but it was certainly perfectly timed.
The fate of that was in Allett's hands and also in those of Rehan Ali Khan. First wicket down, 19 on the board, and a very good delivery.
Yeah, well, once again, it was the old ball that nipped back up the hill, pitching just outside off stump and knocking that middle back, and probably just keeping a fraction low as well. But certainly, playing against Paul, you do feel you need to get more onto your front foot, and on that occasion, the batsman was caught on the back foot.
Paul Parker is the new batsman. Square drive has played a couple of handsome strokes on the offside. One back foot forcing shot. fairly rocketed away, and that one, it just fall from the moment it left the bat.
No ball from Steve O'Shaughnessy. Getting very effective treatment from Parker.
Well, this is a terrible over. Well, to put it more in perspective, it was a terrible over. As he's finished now, and he'll be very, very relieved indeed. Good hit. Lovely, clean strike. Free swing at the bat. Fine shot from Parker.
These are good tactics by the Sussex players, and that's a magnificent on-drive by Paul Parker. They're determined not to let Jack Simmons settle in to lengthen the line, and Parker lofting that one right into the pavilion.
But that's the sort of form these Sussex boys are in. Lovely shot that by Alan Green. Perfect textbook. Full face of the bat. Nice round of applause for the 100 up. That's an excellent start for Sussex by Green and Parker. That's a half volley. Yes, well, Sussex men stand up and be recognised, because that's a half century for Alan Green. Firm support from the Sussex dressing room. Fine shot. And there's another half-century. Fine half-century by Paul Parker. What he has showed himself prepared to do is to attack the bowling, not to let them bowl at him and keep him bogged down. Just 69 balls for his half-century.
And this was a good shot. It was on the up. It wasn't a half volley by any means. There's nothing much wrong with that delivery, but certainly Paul Parker getting that away through extra cover without any trouble at all.
Partnership and 161 balls for Parker and Green. Each of those players has stroked the ball very well.
John Abrahams has been brought into this attack because of the mauling handed out to Steve O'Shaughnessy. His 4 overs costing 42 runs.
That's a good shot. Because though Parker has suffered cramp out there in playing that stroke. Don't have any sympathy for the bowler if he's going to bowl without a slip. At the moment, Lancashire need wickets. Looks like cramp. Beautifully placed. Gave himself just a fraction of room. One of the features of Parker's batting today has been his footwork. Not just in dancing down the pitch, but playing off the back foot as well. Share of luck as well. Lip readers, please write to Mrs. Allett. It's a better shot. Be able to get the four. Parker has this cramp. It's certainly slowing him down. Once or twice he's had real trouble with it out there, quite stiff-legged. He hasn't yet thought about calling for a runner. Jack Simmons. Very well bowled by Jack Simmons. The ball that goes on with the arm instead of turning down the hill. And that is the breakthrough Lancashire had to get. Another 3 or 4 overs and they'd have been in terrible trouble.
Great effort from Alan Green. 62 very well made runs. Jack Simmons not letting any liberties been taken against his bowling.
Imran Khan comes out. Rehan Ali Khan was also on the field.
Lovely piece of bowling from Simmons, leaving Green stranded at least 4 feet out of his ground.
Deep fine leg was very, very wide there. More round, or around about 45 degrees. The nearest tickle off the pad. And the stroke was played, so they pick up the 4 runs. Beautiful stroke. Best fielders in the country out there.
If Paul Parker, the man who played that shot, is the best fielder on the Sussex side, then this man, Graham Fowler, was told the same distinction for Lancashire.
And this packed ground has seen some very good cricket today. Run rate needed by Sussex now is 4.8.
Good shot.
Oh dear. It's all right, I think.
A class shot from a class player.
Yes, not a lot has gone for Lancashire. That's caught. Super catch. John Abrams, the catcher, and Paul Parker will be cursing himself there because he hit to one of the longer boundaries on the field and purposely played underneath it. It was a pickup shot, and it went straight to the hands of John Abrams. For a lovely innings, Paul Parker caught by Abrams of Hayhurst for 85.
And it won't be easy for a new man coming in. It's pretty dark out there, and that was a good catch because he'd be looking against a crowd, a big high crowd at that far side. He wouldn't see it probably take off, but he caught it very comfortably in the end. And we've talked about the Lancashire fielding, and once again that proved the point.
This is Colin Wells. He gets away with it. 4 runs. Unlucky for Fairbrother, lucky for Wells. .200 comes up. He tries again. Steve O'Shaughnessy to Imran Khan.
Abrahams.
And wide.
Those days where you wish you could go back to bed and start again. Mike Watkinson is the bowler to Imran. There from Sussex, not quite off the middle of the bat. There's no slip. Lancashire dressing room will be a quiet place at the moment. They need wickets. Throw was wild. Imran Khan was really struggling. In the end, O'Shaughnessy's throw was over the top and they picked up an overthrow. Eleven runs needed from 16 balls. Needs a few dot balls in the scorebook in this over. Abrahams. Well run by Imran. He was struggling for a moment or two. And race back to complete his half-century.
And another competitor there for the man of the match. Brilliant piece of fielding on the run. If it had hit the stumps, it would have been probably out. But it wasn't a bad throw when you think he was at full flight. But good cricket all round there.
Quite dark, and that's the way it actually looks out there to the players. Well, that's put an end to any speculation about Sussex not being able to make the required runs. That was a lovely shot.
Absolutely perfectly timed. No real effort, and yet it flew away into the crowd, did that. Tremendous throw.
50 partnership between these two players. Good cricket. And that's it. Leg by signal.